Yay, we got him.
All right.
The instant they start to catch feelings, I start to steal and they quick, then I'm out. Just like a thief in the night. I sink my teeth in the fight. You thinking life, I'm thinking more.
Hey.
Come on, Mom.
What's cracking?
Yeah, he's safe.
Yeah.
You want. I gave you gave me. I blaze you blaze me. Nothing more, nothing less. But you at my door.
Bro, I'm live at the studio.
Hold on. I gave you what you gave me.
I'm live.
Somebody let me know.
Hey.
To Tlakas Tavern.
Welcome to Tlakas Tavern. Boom, boom, boom.
Welcome.
Let's see how we're gonna do it. Do it like this.
Welcome to Tlakas Tavern.
It's all blurry.
Are we live?
We live. We've been live.
Welcome to Tlakas.
So we live. We live.
We're just getting it together.
You ready, T?
Welcome
Okay, here we go.
to Tlakas Tavern.
Well, welcome to the tavern tonight. Oh, you gonna do your own intro? Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Go
we
ahead
got
from the
you.
screen, buddy. Come on.
Oh, welcome to Tlakas Tavern. My name is Ahmad. Andre, don't be laughing. As you can see, I'm riding down the highway.
You was on
We
Tuesday.
have
Eights.
whatever. We have Lovey, our producer, in the building. There we go. No, you're supposed to do the clap. Not the
I was gonna be shit today, but Talaka said I ain't shit, so never mind. I ain't shit. The one day I wanted to be shit, Talaka said no, she ain't shit. Damn.
Hardy hard. And the host is Talaka Basic.
Good evening, y'all. Well, I'm used to having this person sitting on the side of me, so it feels.
He still is
funny.
on the side of you on the.
I can't roll my eyes at the camera. It's it feels kind of funny. So, anywho, we're gonna get started with the tavern tonight. Tonight we got a couple of topics we're gonna talk about. I know a lot of people, we still want to give our dues to DMX. I mean, I was a DMX fan. I didn't know his lyrics. I know the course. Me, I'm not a big rap person, so I just know all the courses. But we just want to give a shout out to, the rest in peace to DMX. He passed same day as my dad. My dad died at 12:06 on the 9th, and DMS was pronounced on the 9th as well. And it was kind of fitting, and there were two of the same type of people. That my dad, like you always said, he was a man among men, and he spoke his mind, and he said what he had to say. He loved the Lord, and he lived his life his way. So,
I think that Prince died too, didn't he? That Prince or whatever.
yeah,
I was seeing all these memes.
Prince, he was 99 years old.
Yeah, I was seeing a meme, and it said when he died, and he old.
He was almost 100, but I ain't even mad at Prince Andrew. Hey, we got Golden Love. She's an author. You don't have to read her children's book. She has some adult books coming out now. If it's adult or just adult, but check out Golden Love. She has a book, A Boy with. I'm gonna mess up the title, but it's a really good book about colors, and it's a good book for the kids. And we got Keith Lopez checked in from Vegas.
What's up, Keith Lopez?
So, but we were just, talking about DMX. There's all these, rumors going around. We won't really know the truth. We don't know if he. My question was, they were talking about that he passed from the COVID, taking the COVID injection. My question is, did he really take it? Because that's what I've been saying. The only thing the media would put is that he did not die from COVID related symptoms, or he did not he did not come out from related symptoms, and he did not die from one of the, they say, a reaction to the shot. But I have my whole take on that anyway.
Hmm.
I know my dad just took the that second shot like a couple weeks before, and now he's no longer with us as well. Um, so that's my take on that. Our youth, take the time to really just do some research and don't just, celebrate the events for this week. Really listen to what he said. He said he talked some real shit, as y'all say.
Yeah, I love DMX. Definitely part of the
Me too.
80s, the 80s babies situation. If you was born in the 80s, you a 80s era hip hop person, you know what I'm saying, or prior, then you definitely experienced DMX. I know it was like I was in high school, you know what I mean? That was like the DMX Rough Rider era.
Yes.
You had Drag On, you had Swiss Beats, you had Eve. Like it was a whole movement.
It was a true movement.
And there was motorcycle. Did you see the outside where they were carrying his body? The whole city or the whole Yonkers or whatever, they had the whole, like, everybody was out there singing his songs, and his body was getting drove off to the funeral home. It was super, super dope.
Well, I wish that I'm a firm believer. I'm getting better with it, and I try to give people their flowers when they're here. And right now, I'm really it started maybe since COVID. I've been really I'm bad about reaching out and talk to people, but in my mind, I've given these people all of their flowers, and I'm going to start reaching out a little bit more.
Do you give flowers for you, or do you give flowers for the person? Like, is it for you to know that they knew, or is it for them to know that?
It's for them to know, because a lot of people assume that people really know how they feel about them.
Exactly.
And so it's for them.
I thought that's what the whole term "give me my flowers while I'm here."
It is. Like with my like me and my dad. Anybody who know us, we were oil and water. We were just too. Oh my God! We were horrible. And I thank God that He allowed me to grow up, live life, mature, and understand, and to learn how to be more forgiving.
Yeah, forgiveness.
Because my daddy wasn't a bad father at all. But my dad was he did his drinking and he did his extra.
Good.
But I think he did what he loved. He loved the family. So he loved family. He did that, and we really we covered a lot of ground. So we had an understanding. We look at each other. We had a silent thing. It was like we didn't, as they say, it didn't have to be said. It was just understood.
Family ties.
Yes, it was one of those. So, but with DMX, like. I'm gonna go back to what they were saying about this COVID. They came out again today now with the Johnson and Johnson stating that
people are dying. Yeah,
they're pulling it again because of blood clots.
Mm-hmm.
And what I find is when I talk to people, I'm not shooting nobody down. So if you take that COVID, take the shot. I mean, that's what you want to do. You do it. I ain't telling nobody not to. Do what you feel like is best for you, but educate yourself. Do not just go by what people are telling you. That's the big deal that we have that's going on right now. People think that because they take the COVID shot that they won't catch COVID. That's a lie. You can still catch COVID. Mm-hmm. They think that because they take the shot that they can't pass COVID. That is a lie. You still can transmit COVID. So the only thing that shot does is supposedly make your symptoms a little better. You okay?
Sorry.
Stop you from dying. That's what the COVID
do. Lovey, y'all right over there?
You know what it is, Ahmad.
I need to dial 911.
Look, that ain't Ahmad. Look, Black Magic. You know what time
Black
it is.
Magic, you know what it is.
What's going on in this corner? And so, with regards to the COVID, with the exam, I'm just saying, just read up on it and make the best decision with regards to which shot you, or if you're taking it, which one you want to take. Don't just be a bandwagon and follow shit because everybody else taking it and you want a sticker or a t-shirt, you know. So I'm saying just make sure that you take that COVID. That if you do it, educate yourself on what you're taking. Um, Also, my co-host is not here because he decided to get his miles in. You know, he's getting ready to do that MS 150.
Oh, what's this? What is this? I never heard of this.
So it's cycling bicycles on. So he does that long distance cycling. I don't do that. I ride my little cruiser with the basket on. That's me, and that's what you're getting from me.
I asked her today did she want to race?
See, he was trying to start that shit for real.
Don't have Mr. Lock out here ripping the streets.
I am a cruiser. Yeah. He was trying to be. He was being petty for real. I was like, okay, that's how we doing it. It's all good. But the great thing about this is it's fundraiser for muscular sclerosis. And we all, I know quite a few people that's dealing with that, and it is a debilitating disease. And so I know they have to raise at least $400. And right now, I think my co-host is like $270. So we're gonna do that Tlakas Tavern 10 challenge. You know, just go hit him up with $10 so he can at least meet their $400 donation that they ask each rider to make. So because the riders pay their entry fee and make a donation because it is a fundraiser.
Yes, please go to my page, Ahmad. I'm on Facebook and I am on Instagram, and donate. And if not, inbox me and I'll send you the information to donate. I really need your help. Me and the boys need your help. It's for a good cause.
All right, so we've got that.
We're definitely gonna get the team involved.
Yeah, so that's what we're working on there. Today's show, I'm just gonna say I really want to just touch on grief a little bit because although I'm here, I'm smiling, I'm laughing, and doing my deal. I still feel some type of way. We lost a lot of great people within the last week, and I got my cup. Anybody who know this cup, they know who made this cup. And shout out, to Nestle. She was a beautiful person, beautiful spirit. But I still have my cup, and it's just a lot of loss that's going on right now. And what I want to talk about with regards to grief is right now, and I'm just gonna go into this. I was, everybody have their own relationship with people, and I was really close to my mom. And anybody who know me know that I still have my spells, and I was really still grieving really hard. It took me 8 years, and I think God was preparing me for this. It took me 8 years, this year made 8, to just kind of really make peace and be kind of okay with her not being here because I still wasn't. And I think he was preparing me for that because of what happened next.
Right.
But what I want to tell people to do is,
Put your headset on backwards. I'm sorry.
I always have it on
I know.
backwards.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's bothering me because I'm looking at you and I've been looking at you.
Okay, so what do I need to do to it?
Lift it and turn it. You literally you literally just have it on. That's why the cord is going across your face.
I'm like, what's going on here? And then I drop my thing. So hold on.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this.
Boom.
Flip it.
Yep.
Well, at least I got their buzz on.
Yeah. Look. See, now we are spitting. Now we going.
It'll be later. I'm gonna get this.
Now we're
get all this together.
We know you got a lot on your mind, but I want the people to get the full effect of this situation. So continue, ma'am.
So with grief, what studies have found, and what a lot of researchers found, and what I have found myself is that you wrap yourself up in all of this busy stuff, just a whole bunch of busy. Excuse my language. Busy. I'm a cusser. Got it honest.
They said there's 5 stages.
It's actually, it depends on who you talk to. Some say 5, some say 7, some say 12.
Oh, that sounds like some rehabilitation.
It actually
kind of is.
It really is. Because with grief, so with me, I stay stuck in the angry, busy stage for a very long time, and I had to try to work through it. So, with regards to the stages of grief, you start off with denial, then you become angry,
Mm.
and you still haven't accepted it, and then you go into depression, and it's all kinds. It's just a whole big yo-yo, and so. The big deal that you have to understand that, and that I'm really encouraging everybody that's dealing with this, is to not overexert yourself and tie yourself up into a whole bunch of things to not think about it. Instead of doing that, actually find you a good support system, because that's what's going to truly help you get through this. Find you a good support system, someone that's truly going to listen. And even if it means going to seek help, getting a therapist, that's what you need to do in order to be able to move on. Because otherwise, you're going to find yourself in just a big knot of just confusion and just unable to really pull yourself out of it. And it ends up turning from grief more to a depression.
Well,
For a
that's
lot.
part of it. I mean, that's one of the. I feel like one of the stages. What about you, Ahmad? How do you grieve or grieve? They say grief. How do you
Yeah,
grieve? Grieve.
grief.
We can't hear you.
We see your lips
Your,
moving.
yeah, turn your. There you go.
Yeah, well, I had the sound muted so y'all can hear the background. But I go off to myself, and I do me by myself. So I go for a ride, or drive, or hopefully nobody's home, watch a little TV, hang out in the backyard. So I like to be active when I grieve.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah, I don't like a lot of questions. Is something wrong? Yeah. I don't want to know. I go off for myself, and then when they ask everything with me, I'm like, I'm cool. And honestly, my grieving usually happens 2, 3 months later.
Hmm.
So it's serious. I know it's crazy, but 2, 3 months, a year later,
and that's what
everything is settled down and so in.
that's what they say. A lot of people think that you have a loss, and in grieving is just not about death. It's not about death. You can People grieve the loss of a job. They grieve the loss of. Uh, they grieve a lot. They grieve multiple things. It's not just about a loved one or a family member. Their pets. I mean, they people grieve in all sorts of over different things, but a lot of people think, okay, what's going to happen. I was one of those people. I was real inconsiderate. I'm gonna just be honest to a certain degree regarding people's suffering until I because I had never experienced true loss.
Hmm.
So until I lost my mother, that was the first time I truly, people always say, "Oh, I'm sorry about your loss." Well, most people they just saying the words. As long as it's not interfering with their daily living and what they got going on, they're gonna bring you a casserole and say what they
What
need
do
to
you
say.
want to do? What do you think people should do?
What I think that people should do is just be their true selves. Don't do the fraud care, because and if somebody is grieving, if they allow that person to cry and do what they need to do without making them feel guilty about it, because a lot of people feel guilty because they don't feel like they're strong, they don't feel like they're holding up their end. And a lot of people like, "Oh, I don't want them around. She's depressing now. Ever since her mom died, she don't do this or she don't do that." And I have seen and heard that happen to people before. So that's one of my things is, if you can be truly supportive and stay out that person's way
Or if you don't know how to play
if
that
you
role.
don't know how to.
I
And
find myself in this where I obviously being in the military, just my lifestyle period, I just view death differently. But just being around people that view death certain ways, it's almost like
It's
uh
depressing, isn't it?
and no, I'm just saying it's depressing. It's just it's a eye opening because people handle things how they handle things based on what their experiences are. So at this point in my life personally, I view death in a different kind of way. So I see people, take loss different kinds of ways. You know, like if you look at loss in the traditional sense of death and losing is one perspective, but if you look at it as a transitional situation, or you know what I mean, like it just depends how you view it, like how you interpret it, what you believe, I think plays a role in how you grieve.
Well, I think that we've been trained to suck it up, and so I think that I think it's still a little stigma on grieving, especially for our men. Our men are not taught or allowed to, or they don't feel like they are allowed to grieve because men don't cry. Uh, okay, you deal with it, suck it up, get yourself together, and so that's how we
Oh yeah.
handle.
Yes, we do. You just don't see us do it. Yes, we do.
Well, I know that you do, but what I'm speaking on is that most men are told. But how many times have you been told, "Suck it up, don't do that. Men don't cry, boys don't cry." I mean, what I'm saying is that most men are told that until they don't know how to release. They don't feel like it's okay to grieve.
Well, we pick and choose our points, like I'm saying, because usually we have to console loved ones or family or friends. We have to do the consoling and hold it down while they are grieving. So we have to let you get your grieving out of the way, and then a little
Like I
later
said,
we'll go do ours.
no, but you can't put your grief on hold, and that's just what I was
Right.
saying right there. About it's like no, you feel like you're not entitled to grieve until you've taken care of everybody else, but then you also need, as a man, y'all need that support too. So that's the thing when you grieve, instead of people being so isolated in grief. Sometimes it's okay to grieve together, and it's okay for you to feel like it's okay to grieve. Not that you have to be the strong one and let everybody else get through it and you hide yours in the backyard.
True, true, but hey, that's how it goes.
I mean, so I got cleanup man on here and I got Keith on here. I mean, I don't know, you might want to type in, I mean, let me know what you guys think. But I just that's one of the things we were talking about. I feel like it's not a double standard when it comes to grief. And it's I think that we need to let it be okay for our, for men to be
Are
able.
you sure?
Am I sure what?
I said it is a double standard when it comes to
Oh, it
grieving
is a
between
double standard.
men and women. Yeah.
But I guess my thing is, we've talked about it, because I talk about my mom and dad, and sometimes you look at me like, what the hell are you talking? It's been 8 years, and I know that I don't know how well you are, at letting go and talking about those things. So, I think that's why I'm saying it's just different. But then I don't even know if that's considered to be a man or woman thing. I think that may be an individual thing. I see your lips moving, but I don't hear you saying anything.
I said that's an individual thing right there.
Mm.
On
Well,
how long they hold on and stuff like that.
well, I know that in doing some studying and reading on grief, I've actually started implementing some of the steps that they say, to help. Thanks to COVID, COVID made me really just take a look. Let me see. Let me see if I can push you in. Let's see. Approve. Okay, so I'm
What you trying to
adding.
do?
Well, cleanup man. I think it says adding. So let's see what happens. Connecting.
Go
All right,
ahead.
so we got somebody. He's on the screen. What's going on, cleanup man? So he popped in and it popped off, so it went off because like they'll let you do the video so that you can chime in. So if anybody has something they want to say, they can click the video and they can speak what they want to say. I can see it on my Facebook Live, but nobody else. I don't it won't show on the main video. But I
Yeah.
was Go ahead.
Tell cleanup man put his face on the screen.
Yeah, all he has to do is click the restream link and boom, he's in there.
Yeah, well, he
You
was
can
there.
even copy it and post it on the actual, like in the comments of your, of your actual live video.
He was there, but
Oh, right here.
I'm saying you
yeah, but
you can. Never mind.
yeah,
We'll do it later.
Never
mind.
We've been working on that link, but I've been working out some of the things. So I've been working on some of these things since COVID, and a lot of it is health. And one of the big things that is saying is that when you are grieving, that you have to learn how to be patient with yourself. Because we're like, and I was at a stage like that where I was like, okay, I'm
You
tired
think
of
you can dump that sucker in that spot right there? The driveway? Yeah.
okay. So
So the driveway kind of
and then his signal won't let him connect.
Mm.
He's on the road though, so
Okay.
yeah. So, but what happened with me was during COVID, I was actually practicing some of these things, and it did make a difference. So it's the first thing was like being patient with yourself, and I had to learn that there's, tell myself that it was okay, that there's truly no time limit on grief. There's no time limit on grieving, and that I can do this in my own
What
way.
is grieving at the end of the day? Like the process you take to accept this reality. I guess in my mind, after experiencing death in certain instances in different ways, it just made me feel like it's coming. Not if, but when.
Right. Well, like my daddy say, you were born to die.
Right.
So we know this. But in the midst of you losing someone, it does not mean that the best way, I guess, it doesn't mean that you don't feel that loss, that you don't miss that person. And that's one of the things of grief. Grief is the experience of a loss. And so when you lose something that meant something to you, you have to process it. And so we know that we're not here for forever. We know that everybody has a date and a time, and we're aware of that. And Bible says, no man knows your date or time. So we're aware of that. But however, it still does not stop me as a person for missing that person or missing the need of that person, because, especially parents, kids, like my mom, we talked every day. We gonna argue, fight, talk, do whatever, but we talked every day. So when you break that chain, you had a chain that was broken 40-some years of doing this. So,
Right.
So you're not only experiencing a physical and mental loss, and grief affects people in many different ways. A lot of people think grief is just emotional, and it's not. You can experience physical symptoms through grief, and so it's all about learning how to work your way through it instead of getting trapped in it, because it's easy to get trapped in a state of let me say the best way to say it. It's easy to get trapped in a state of just
grief,
being stagnant.
A state of grief.
Yes.
A constant state of grief.
So Cleanup Man said it's not true. Everybody mourns differently. He still cry every day about his mom. And
the dog is cute.
Some good, some bad, take as long as you want. That's pretty much, what we're saying. That, do whatever. It took me, like I said, 8 years. I'm still not done, but it took me 8 years to realize the cycle and the things that I had going on. So, and to break my way out of it. And that was thanks to COVID. COVID slowed me down on a lot to make me deal with things that I was not willing to deal with before.
Yeah, it will definitely show you different parts of yourself. But I think the strength in it is pulling yourself out, like you said, or accepting it and being able to have a quality of life, being with this person's memory or,
right. And so, but that's where I, just like I said, I have a few tips I just want to give people, because we can get so wrapped up in it. And again, like I say, be patient with yourself. As long as it takes to deal with it, that's your time. Okay.
I had to mute Ahmad.
Yeah, just for a second.
It's too much.
And then also, keep your life simple, because what happened with me was I had my hands in so many cookie jars, just doing so many things.
Love cookies.
Um, well, I was stretching myself. I kept myself so busy because I didn't want to deal with it. And I had to learn how to simplify my life and to actually just go ahead and just truly take the bull on, by the horns. Because on the outside, people think you can't make assumptions about people. People are looking and thinking everybody got their shit together, and all the people who they think got their shit together, they stuff is more, excuse my language, fucked up than the people who's watching. And that is that I know for sure, because once you get to start digging and really looking up under that, like I say, pull that layer off. Once you start pulling those layers off and really seeing people for what they are and what's truly going on, you will be amazed at who's doing certain things. Also, one thing that's important, we have to keep ourselves in a safe zone. And what I mean by that safe zone right now is, don't put yourself in a situation to be with people that you really, that's my friend, that's my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all, fuck a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Surround yourself around people who genuinely care about you.
Right.
And that was been one of the things we were just talking about the purge last week, and I prayed over it, and me and God, we've been having some serious talks. We've been having some knockout drag outs. He tell me one thing, I'm saying I'm gonna do this, and he like, okay, let me show you different.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has been purging and moving people and moving so many things out of my life, things and people that I thought were just like the end all be all, and he's just showing me, he's just moving all of this old stuff out the way and just opening up so many new doors. I mean, so many new people. And I was like, hey, why did I deal with this shit? And deal with all these this fraud stuff. So you got to surround yourself with the right people and follow your gut and that spirit of discernment when it tells you don't hang around in that situation that you really don't belong in. And get yourself start putting yourself in the right crew and stay in that safe area. And most of all, keep your faith. You gotta have faith. You gotta have that conversation with God.
Gotta have faith, the faith, the faith.
Seriously, I mean, man, you gotta have that true conversation in order to get through and move and survive this thing we call life. You got to have a conversation with God. You got to have God. If it's Allah for you, if it's the tree goddess, whoever floats your boat and make you be able to get to a better state or a state of peace, you got to have those conversations. And what you find is, once you complete grief or get through this process, and as you're moving through this process, you are growing and changing as a person. And that's another thing that's going to move people out of your way, because you're going to turn around and you're going to be looking like your whole circle and change. Like, what happened to these people? Man, these people are so cool. And you find you got a whole new circle, a whole new outlook, a whole new.
It can happen quick too.
Take on life. And that's because he's moved in the process of grieving. It's like, okay, you had this loss. You say, okay, it's time for you to get through this, move forward, and I'm going to push all of this out the way and help you get to where you really need to be. So that's what a few things that I really want to just say, on grief. And the last thing is self-care. If you don't do anything else, take care of yourself. I can't tell you how to take care of yourself. Not taking care of me is when I go home, I'm going to put it. Here we go. I got my little blue bottle, and I got my cup, and I have my TV, and I'm gonna sit back, and I just be wanting to have my little quiet time.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And that's my self-care. I go from visit touched by Tate, one of our sponsors. That's my therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to find self-care for you. What works for you? What works for me? I'm not advocating drinking, although this is a tavern. I'm not advocating drinking, but do what works for you. Find whatever your self-care. If your self-care regimen is picking your toes, that's what you do.
Oh, picking nasty toes then.
Yeah. But Ahmad, do you have any same thing to say before we take a quick break?
I think he has himself.
Yes, I'm grieving right now because as you can see in the background, my truck is being dropped off by a tow truck, so I am grieving as we speak.
See,
And I am going to
That's the
I'm gonna help my grief out with some liquor.
Yeah.
That's how grieving. You see that in the back? I'm grieving. I'm sorry, fans. I'm sorry, y'all out there. I'm having technical difficulties today. Had to get told from the goddamn park. Grieving,
But see, that's
grieving. I'm going back on mute.
well, go ahead on. Well, we're gonna again take us a quick break. We're gonna hear a little DMX. We're gonna play that DMX during the
I
break.
got you, sis.
And we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about a little bit more because we're gonna talk about this stuff that happened with the shooting, man.
Grieving,
This right here.
grieving.
What you really want from a
I want to give a shout out to AAA.
Shit, the only reason they showed up, you paid them. Don't pay them and see if they come.
We'll be right back.